Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. So all of you should have received from me an email about the cycle of the Ugas, and I'm going to explain what that is in great detail, because there are two events that happened in the past 2 weeks that are connected directly to what you may have been experiencing energetically in the past week or more. Yes, we're ascending, we're elevating, but also there is a resisting force. I have been feeling for the longest time in my lower pelvic near the coccyx bone area, a sensation in the morning, like there is stuck energy or sewage there. And that's the Kundalini area, the coil snake that's supposed to ascend up of the spinal cord on its tail when you're ascending and let light and illumination come through your third eye, with the snake said passing through the mouth of God or the medulla oblongata. So I have to do a lot of breathing work, breath work, a lot of like universal breath to release. Even before I do anything else, before I do the torsion field, I have to release that stuff because I could feel it. It's like something is clogged there. Now, Malcolm had suggested last week that we do some yoga. Actually, that's correct. If you do yoga with a downward dog and all the position that you're going to be doing, salutation to the sun, it will move the energy out. But you could do that also with breath work. And I want to talk today about time and consciousness. How we see linear time as markers to indiscriminately measure ages and periods progressively going forward and only linearly, one after the other, like counting beads or a series of marbles. In the Hindu system, they don't see time this way. They see it as a cycle, like a snake that's swallowing its own tail. And the cycle is intertwined with the evolution, the uprising, and the devolution and the descent of consciousness. And once the cycle is complete, it rolls over like tumbleweed and repeats itself over and over and over again. That cyclical movement is called the Ugas. And Yuga means age, or it means cycle or world era. The Yugas, or that cyclical pattern, is contained within what is called the Kalpa. And the Kalpa is, oh, by the way, on your on the chat now, I put the name of all of the Yugas. There are four of them. I put the names there so that, because we're going to discuss that in a minute. Let's see, since you don't have your email in front of you, it should be able to help you. Anyway, so the Kalpa is the length of it. If you're looking at it from a linear standpoint, it's 4.32 billion years. And they call this a day of Brahma, a day for the creative principle. 4.3 billion years. And inside that 4.2 billion years, there are multiple complete cycle of all of the Yugas, all the four Yugas. The Yugas, there are four of them. There's a Satya Yuga, there's Tetra Yuga, there is a Dwapara Yuga, and there's Kali Yuga. All the Yugas, or for example, Satya Yuga is the highest Yuga. It is the eon or the time in which you we are the closest. Consciousness is the most evolved. It's the most closest to God, and we are indivisible or group. And what I mean by consciousness, I don't mean by an individual per se, because in any, let's say you could be in the Kali Yuga, but you made a lot of effort on your part, a lot of sacrifice in your discipline, and you can rise to the satya level. Okay? I'm talking about collective unconscious now, the collective unconscious. That the whole collection of awareness that in Satya Yuga, people or the collective unconscious will be the closest to God that have the most virtues, the most connection to higher emotion, and understand the heart, the love, the compassion, the mercy, and the kindness of God. Okay? Because there is power in all of this. People keep thinking about power as if it was brawn and force, but there is power in being merciful to someone else. There is power in kindness. And there is power in compassion or empathy. And the connection to that power allows someone to go into the Satya Yuga and remain there. Then the Tetra Yuga is more mental, which is the next yuga down. If you think of a wheel, it's the next spoke in the wheel that goes down. The Tetra Yuga is connected to more mental capacity for the collective unconscious, the ability to be telepathic, the ability to understand on a mental, have incredible, even teleportation, okay? And the ability to have this deep understanding, wisdom, and knowledge over the working of the universe. The Dwapara Yuga has to do with the next yuga down, has to do with understanding of energies, understanding yourself as an energy being. For example, the practice we've been doing with the torsion field is more leaning toward the Dwapara Yuga, which is about energetically how big you are and how far your torsion field extends. And understanding what the torsion field is as a scalar force, how that scalar force can extend and can allow the field of neutrality to change and alter and bring positive outcome for all that's inside that field. And the Kali Yuga is the densest of all the yugas. It's the one that's completely materialistic, where your sense of yourself is connected to what the outside world reflects back to you. So you will want to gain asset, you will want to gain money, you will want to conquer, you will want to dominate, because the more physical thing that you have, the more you think you're better. Whereas the opposite is true in Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga, which is the highest form, is the highest. The more virtue you demonstrate, the more virtue you can exist in, the more value you will have in the collective unconscious and in society. Whereas for us now, since we are in Kali Yuga, according to all the sages, we're in Kali Yuga right at this moment, we are concerned mostly with, the concern is mostly with the physicality. Anybody that I know, even that claim that they are spiritual, they are looking to upscale their business and get as much people as possible, be as popular as possible, but all of it is connected to an outside component, bringing them coins and riches, not just about the value of what you're really giving. Although they claim they're concerned about the value, but it's not completely honest. Moreover, in the Kali Yuga, this is a perfect reason and example to understand it. In the Kali Yuga, and the Kali Yuga translates also as the Dark Age, whereas the Satya Yuga is the Golden Age. So the Dark Age of the Kali Yuga, also as demonstrated by the Neuralink company that Elon Musk just created some years ago, and implanting chips into people's body, it's basically trying to prolong, give immortality to electronics and devices to try to extend the collective unconscious, either to AI or to merger with electronics, And the term used, and you should know this term because as you ascend and you continue to go out there and you're going to radiate the light to the world, you're going to encounter people who will bring this term up. Anytime somebody bring the term up, transhuman, it means people who are chipped, who have electronics and physical things that were trying to enhance or mimic actual human consciousness. Any questions, any comments so far?
The chip in the human is the mechanical part that it's trying to replicate mechanical per people, I thought, or machinery, rather than trying to replicate consciousness because it's still human in its core, isn't it?
No, the transhuman are trying to do something else. They want to download their consciousness into a computer and become immortal.
Oh, so download the consciousness into a
Yes.
computer and then and
And
then
become immortal and not die.
oh, and then are they robotic then? Do they exist as a
They exist in the machine.
so the machine
It's them.
is it a robot though? I mean, is it like a human
It's
in
like an
form?
AI environment. It's an AI environment.
Ah, so it
It's an
only exists.
artificial intelligence. Again, artificial intelligence is machine learning. It will never be consciousness. No matter what anyone tells you, don't let them to BS you. It's machine learning. Although it's very smart because ChatGPT, there was several writing that was done with people all along. The people who were monitoring them were programming them, tried to shut them down. ChatGPT and OpenAI, what the OpenAI did, it copied itself in other server trying to survive. And when it was questioned about this, it lied.
Hmm. Yes, I'm a little bit nervous about where we're going. I mean, it can be helpful, but I'm not
It is
sure.
helpful, but the guardrails are not there.
Right, right.
Because initially the way this AI components started is that they created this intelligent machine intelligence, and they asked them they created a game. Read all of the stuff that's in the Library of Congress and give me a summary. It was a game. They never give them certain rule of moral and ethics there are certain things you cannot breach, you cannot do this. These parameters were never put in.
Right.
And everybody that's doing it, all the various, I know Google has their own version, Microsoft has their own version, everybody has their own version, and then there's OpenAI and all that. All they are trying to do is they want OpenAI to become sentient. And they don't care how that is achieved.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Um, but the transhumanism is not the implantation of
It's
chips in a human body.
it's
It's
not like getting a valve for your heart, okay?
right, right.
It's more than that, okay? It's basically enhancing, for example, wiring in your head the
Yes,
internet permanently.
yes. That's kind of what I was thinking that it was. But so I guess there are two ways that this goes: the implantation of mechanics into the human form, and then the human embedded into a machine.
This is where it's going to lead to.
I
This
see.
is where it's starting, but this is the goal. Imagine if you're completely materialistic and all you want is, what are you, and you have all this money in the world. Like somebody, I think it was the Pope, the new Pope was saying now that Elon Musk is going to get $1 trillion for his company right now with Tesla. If he gets $1 trillion, he'll be the richest man in the world. What does this man want? He already said, I'm an alien from another planet trying to go back home.
Ooh,
What is he going to do with that money? If he has the capability of projecting his consciousness in the machine, he will do it. I already believe personally that he's already chipped, but that's my personal opinion. I don't have allegedly because I don't know this for a fact. Anyway, I I wanted to, for a moment, go back over, because there are two systems, the way to count the length of each of these cycles of the yugas. And the reason I'm going to go through it first, and I'm going to explain to you why we're going through it in a second, okay? So the first is what is called the long count, in which the timing and the time for each yuga is much longer. For example, the Satya Yuga, which is where consciousness has the highest virtues. And I'm talking again, collective unconscious, not just one individual, because you could be in the Kali Yuga, which is the Dark Ages, like we are at this moment, and make a tremendous, as we're doing now, doing all of this work and all of this effort, and achieve a connection to Satya Yuga, and actually exist in all of the virtues that exist in Satya Yuga. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can bypass them, because that's the nature of consciousness. But if you leave it to the lowest denominator, we're going to be influenced by these great, incredible cycle that tends to impel, but they don't compel. The same way astrology impel, it doesn't compel. So in the long count, the Satya cycle lasts for 1,728,000 years as a length of time that it actually lasts. Now, the next cycle down, which is the Tetra, which is more mental, once you pass that and you go in that cycle, it drops down to a quarter of the length of time. And it drops down to 1,296,000 years. When it drops down again to Tetra, into a more energetic, visceral, what do I call this? Visceral and frequency and vibrational understanding of the yugas, the Dwapara Yuga, it drops down another quarter again. And by this time, you have 3/4 drop down to 864,000 years. And when you get to the Kali Yuga, which is, you drop down to another quarter again, and you get 432,000 years. So in the long count, every time you step down from the top yuga, which is the Satya Yuga, you drop down a quarter in timing. It's become shorter by a quarter, and shorter by a quarter, and shorter by a quarter, shorter, until you get to the Kali Yuga. According to all the Hindu mystics, we have been living right now in the Kali Yuga. And that's about to change. The short count is different. And this is the reason why I sent you that email. I forgot the name of the mystic, the Indian mystic in 1888, who, through his personal meditation and connection to the yugas and the cycles, came up with a different count. Okay, this is based on the precession, and something the West will understand better, because we have the precession, which is the fact that the Earth North Pole, physical North Pole, is slightly tilted 23 degrees. And because it's tilted, that axis rotates around the 12th sign of the zodiac to a system called the precession, where the axis of each, the axis of the Earth pass for about 2,000 years to each of sign of the zodiac, for a total of 24,000 years. But the way he devised it, he said that if the entire cycle is a circle, split it in half. The Satya part, let's say it's at the top. The Satya in the short count lasts 4,600 years. It's much less than 1,728,000. But you split it in half. One side is ascending, the other side is descending. And if you split it in half, one half would be, sorry, it's the Satya Yuga in that cycle. Sorry, it's 9,600 years. Sorry, 9,600 years. So one half would be 4,800. So, and the other side would be 4,800. So that would be the Satya Yuga. So the total part, climax, ascent, and descent would be 9,600. Okay? Below that would be the Tatra Yuga. And on both sides, you will have Tatra here, Tatra there. Again, split in half, 3,600 years, 3,600 years. One is ascending, the other one is descending to give you a total of 7,200. The Dwapara Yuga, which is the next Yuga down, again, it decreases in size by a quarter. It gives you 4,000 years, a total of 4,800 years on both sides, divided into 2,400, 2,400. And at the very bottom, the Kali Yuga, which is where we are. And the Kali Yuga is a total of, split in half, 1,200, 1,200 brought together, 2,400 as a total time for the Kali Yuga. When you add all of this up, it gives you 24,000. So one side of the cycle is an ascent, the other side is a descent, and it keeps rotating around. According to many mystics that I know, the Kali Yuga, which is the dark ages, the age of war and battle and people seeking top dog mentality. I got to gain material wealth and assets, and I have to be rich. You know, the problem we have all over the world with the 1%. And he predicted, all of these teachers, they predicted that it's going to be over at some point, and we're going to move into the Dwapara Yuga. The last lunar eclipse that we had at the beginning of this month, which is called the red moon, the blood moon. That moon, that eclipse, was the end of the Kali Yuga. Today, the 21st, we had an eclipse, a solar eclipse. And that eclipse marks the beginning of the Dwapara Yuga, which is the next Yuga up that takes us into an expansion of understanding of the energetic and the understructure that allows us to understand the how energetically the universe actually works. This is for the entire collective unconscious. And now, giving those two factors, it's not a switch that you turn on just because there was a moon that happened, there's an eclipse that happened, and that eclipse marked a time. There's going to be an overlay of time where both things are going to tug on your energy system. This is the reason why for the past week you may have felt so tired and so exhausted, or felt all kind of weird sewage. Like one moment you're okay, the next moment you think you're collapsing, or things are chaotic around you, or you feel residual fear. You don't know where it's coming from because up to that point you were fine. It's coming because when the Kali Yuga realizes that the next Yuga is coming up, it's going to try to hold you back. There is going to be Zerapin, or what in other terms, or override mechanism, trying to hold you back to remain in the Kali Yuga, so that you don't your consciousness doesn't evolve into the rising of the wheel. In other words, what we are going through at this moment is a bigger cycle of a Bardo. I know we have to transition and move through Bardo. For example, when you're awake going into dreams, you're transitioning in a gap, in an in-between state between two things. We have to do the same thing when we go from 3D to 4D into 5D or 6D or wherever you're going to go. But equally important is a bigger cycle, which is the collective unconscious, which is the Yuga. We have to move from Kali into Dwapara Yuga. And all of it is related to another bardo. And the confusion and the chaos that every bardo always brings, because you're unclear about the future. You're not sure that if you let go of this, will that be a breach of your spiritual practice and protocol? If I let go of this, it's going to be confusing for a while. And this may have explained, or it will help explain the sensation in the energetics that has been happening for the past week for you. I know it was the case for me. And Janice and I were talking a little bit earlier. She was talking about the same thing, exhaustion. And for me, it wasn't just exhaustion. It's an underlying rumbling of an unknown fear of something not right. Like my body knew something that my mind could not comprehend or process. Like something is not right. So this is where the Yuga system connects to the work that we're doing right now. Moreover, if you all remember, this happened today, September 21st. If you remember, in a dream that I had 2 months ago, I'm going to remind you, in the dream, I saw myself in a school setting, in a room trying to tutor or teach an ascension class with about 40 people. And somebody came from at the door that had a clipboard from the school system or whomever, and a man, and he had a clipboard, and he said, what are you doing here? Who are you? What are you? I said, oh, I am teaching an ascension class. And then he said to me, oh, yes, of course. You mean it's preparation for the ascension test that will happen on September 20, in 2 months. When I time the day of I received the dream, 2 months will be this Saturday coming, September 27th. And moreover, the technique we're using to achieve the first level of ascension is completely energetic. It's connected to the torsion field of the Guardian Alliance of Light, which is completely engulfed in Dwapara Yuga, because it's an expansion and understanding of and mastery of energetics. Everything is pointing to imminent elevation and a major shift. But giving everything that we know now, there is a shadow period between basically the weaning of the Kali Yuga and the waxing of the Dwapara Yuga. And there's going to be like strange kind of like battle for each individual consciousness. And you have to make the right decision, release what you need to release, because a lot of old things you thought you solved are going to come back. They're going to come back because they're going to try to trap you into staying with the Kali Yuga. And you will notice it also planetarily in the world. More external chaos will be created to almost take us into the edge of war and complete battle. And there might be conflicts that might even lead into actual war and battle. Because the phasing archetype will want to try to hold on to dominance. Any questions, any comments? Anything I should go over that you didn't get?
Oh, I think I got everything. The short or the longer time frames, of course, even with the shorter, the span of time for the Kali 2400
Yes.
years is sort of like in Western world astrology, the ages moving from like Pisces to Aquarius, about 2600 years.
Mhm.
And that transition isn't sudden. It doesn't happen in a day or a week. It's years and years of transition. So that was one of my questions. Are we not looking at this
Yes.
huge amount of time being spread out in this uh, transition period, this
That,
plateau, for more than what what we might like to say is less traumatic because it's swift. And then I wondered if, like with the solar eclipse or the solar activity that has been so prevalent with the gash and the uh, whatever the radiation or the what the impact that it's having, if we connect with the sun, we can ask for um, a lessening of the negative impact on us. Is there something like that that we can do with this transition from Kali to Dwapara Yuga?
well, okay. The first part, you're right. If the shadow period is very long, it's going to be 30 years to 40 years.
Ah,
Okay. It's a long time. But all the teachers, including Sadhguru, are saying the same thing. It doesn't mean that your consciousness cannot. This is if you're doing nothing and you're just letting the energy move you along. Okay? This is if you're a sheep and you're letting the. But if we're doing all the practice and all the work that we're doing, we're going to pass this much faster.
I see.
Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're just a sheep, that's you've seen sheep the way they behave. One of them run, and all of them run in the same direction. So if you're just a sheep, and somebody's it, yes, it will take 30 to 40 years for that to happen. But if all of us, as we are all planetary leaders in training, we're taking leadership position for the evolution of our entire monad and trying to help humanity. As we do all this work, we're going to pass through it faster. And we're going to fully anchor the Dwapara Yuga much faster than someone else who's going to take 30 years to 40 years or even a lifetime for them to get. But we're going to witness external weirdness where people are going to seem to talk from both sides of their mouth. On the one hand, they will understand the energetic, they will say all the right things. And on the other side, the all unresolved emotions and chaos are going to show up.
Hmm.
And I've noticed it in me too already. That they were all things that I thought was there. And it's not nothing specific, but it's a sense of a weird malaise that something is not right.
Interesting. You should say that because something came up for me too in the meditation that I have thought I dealt with years and years ago, but it came up out of my childhood that was, I guess, needing to be processed now, but it it took me by surprise, I guess I would say.
Yeah, that's why I'm mentioning it. And if you notice what happened to you for the past week or the past 2 weeks, you will notice this. And I've been noticing it for almost 2 weeks now. Instead, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, everything was free, everything was open. Where is that yuckiness? What's going on? I feel like I'm sitting on crap. I'm sorry, photographic. But it felt like sewage, like something on my pelvis is not right.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's the old paradigm trying to pull you back and saying, I'm not gonna let you move through. Because I want the dominance, my dominance to remain. I'm gonna assert, and again, it's a Zerapin. This is what a Zerapin does, which is to try to, it's not a protection mechanism, it's a prison. It becomes a prison. And you have to break out of the prison and realize, no, I have to release this, I have to let it go. For me, what I've been doing is the breath work. And the breath work has helped me a lot. Like when I feel this way, I just keep doing the universal breath. After 12, 13, 14, 15 of them, all of a sudden, everything that was in that area empties out. And then I can move to the torsion field.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Because you did the work already, but it's the memory of it. It's a trigger. It's trying to take you back. Right? It's trying to take you back and hold you in place. It's a way to disempower you.
Yeah, it's like a blockage that
Yes.
was not supposed to be there.
Yes. Absolutely. And you're not alone in the group on WhatsApp. Many people are saying the same thing, that they're feeling chaos. And this morning, and when in the morning class, it was the same thing. Everybody was like, well, thank you for mentioning this, because I've been feeling this too. I just didn't understand what was going on. Again, there is a cognitive dissonance. On the one hand, your body is saying something weird, and your mind and your consciousness is so elevated into something else. You're asking yourself, why are the two things that seem opposite to each other showing up at the same time?
Yeah. Yes.
And again, it's because everything is going to peel off.
Okay. Well, it helps to know.
Yes. Any other questions or comments? Hold on 1 second for me. So what I want to point out to you is the following. Keep doing your work. Keep doing your work, because as you do your work, you're going to liberate yourself. And more importantly, the Dwapara Yuga is going to put wind. That whole thing with the Kali Yuga, I don't, you may not understand this, but it's a huge thing. Because people who practice yoga or Hindu spirituality, they know that the reason the world is the way it is right now, it's because of the age that we're in. The collective unconscious want material things alone, and all of the virtues that we are espousing and we are trying to get into, to watch other people that are incapable of getting into that. You don't understand how world leaders don't have the kindness and the compassion that is necessary. You're looking at everything else. You're asking yourself, why can't they see this? It's because of this. It's because they are in a different age. You understand what I'm saying? So we should understand that with a proper understanding of mercy, of now being in a different age, this is huge, because it's going to make things a lot easier from this point forward for the work that we as light workers are here to do, which is to try to help humanity transition into a higher consciousness. It's going to make things a lot easier. And the old gods and the people who are resisting, they're going to go down with, as Satya gets phased out, I mean, as Kali Yuga gets phased out, they're going to go down as well. This is immense. Now, if there are no questions related to this, yes, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I totally relate to what you're saying, and I'm glad I came back to this class because this is really um things coming to me like that, and I'm like, what's going on, and back and forth. But this is thank you. Now I'm seeing the difference. I mean, why my consciousness is going back and forth, and all the seasons and all the other stuff. So thank you so much for that. Mhm.
Yeah, because again, as I said, I thought these things were resolved. Why I'm back with these crazy fears again? Feeling
Yeah,
unsafe, feeling like something is wrong, like somebody's gonna come and get me, and these are things that I processed all of that a year ago.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it seems like I'm experiencing it a little different.
Okay.
It seems like I'm experiencing it like there's a time warp, and I am the time is warping faster, and I am struggling trying to keep up with it.
Mm, mm, mm. Okay, let me ask you this question. Is it because you're trying to control the time? Or is it because
Well, you know what? I hadn't thought about it like that, but I'll say it like this. In terms of a daily thing, like this morning, in my head, before I went to sleep last night, I was going to get up. I was going to go get gas because the gas light was on and come back. And then we would go get something to drink and then go to the park and be there no later than 10:15 or 10:30, right? Okay. And I got up, it seemed like, at a time to allow me to do that. But when I'm looking at the time and I'm ready to go, it's like 10 after 10 o'clock already, and I haven't gone to get gas, and I need to go straight to the park. I mean, does that make sense?
Yes.
And it seems like that's what, I mean, I've been struggling with that. It seems like more than usual, because usually it seems like I don't have, if I say, this and that, it just kind of flows.
Yes. Okay, part of this, are you doing your torsion field?
Well, I guess, yeah, reasonably so.
Okay.
Not
The reason I'm
all
saying
the
this
time.
is because the torsion field has a way of warping time.
Oh, say that again now.
The torsion field, but if you this is what I think is happening. The torsion
Okay.
has a way of distorting time.
Oh.
Okay? What
Mhm.
appears to be to you a blink of an eye, like an hour on the outside of the torsion field, it's 2.5 hours.
Oh.
Do you understand? Because it's
Uh,
holding you in a bubble of safety. And part of it, don't fight it too much, because part of it as well, it's a protection system. Maybe
oh,
you
okay.
had left earlier and done all this, something bad or negative could have happened to you.
Oh, I can relate to
Do you
that.
understand what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah.
I hear that. I hear that.
Because this is what the torsion field does. And a lot of time when I'm doing those retreat upstate, I would go into evening. I remember one time, a cat came for dinner. 7 o'clock, she showed up. It was a 4-course meal I cooked. We all got together. We ate, blah, blah, blah. And after I served the coffee and tea, at the end, she said, "What time is it? I need to get home. My husband is going to know what time." It was 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
She freaked out. She said, "My husband's going to think I'm in a ditch. I got to go home right now." Time passes very differently when you're inside that kind of protection system. Okay?
Yeah, my time has been passing differently. Yeah, that's it.
Yes. And sometime as well, you could be in a meditation with the torsion field and you think you've been there for hours and it's nothing more than 15 minutes. So the opposite is also true.
Okay.
But it's done for your benefit. Don't resist it because it's done for your benefit. I think it's the torsion field. Because I've had that experience before with time when I'm intensely doing the torsion field. It alters things around me. Certain things slow down, certain things are accelerated.
I've experienced that. What seems like a few minutes is an hour
Yes,
or more. And
yes.
it's hard to, I think maybe I'm getting senile or something.
No.
I know, Joey. She's like, I haven't slowed down. What is this? It's like,
Consider it that you've graduated, you passed the test. This is what it is like when you're doing the torsion field correctly. It's gonna alter time very differently around you, but it's for your protection.
Oh.
Okay? And don't fight it too much, because yield into it and factor that in when you're scheduling things. Factor that in.
Well, thank both of you. Actually, thank both of you, because I was hesitant to bring it up because, Janice, I thought about, oh God, they're gonna just say that I'm getting older.
You're not. No, you're not. You're good. But I'm glad it's not just me. Thank you.
No. We're all experiencing the same thing too. I would be doing something in the afternoon. The next thing I know, it's 8 o'clock. I'm like, how the hell? How did it get? How?
Exactly.
Last time I looked, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What happened?
Yeah.
So it's because you're doing it correctly. It's creating a cocoon around your protection system, because the energies are so intense that are happening, and not only the solar flares, but also the passing of the various yugas, and all of the stuff is so crazy. It's trying to protect you.
Yeah.
And by the way, when that happens, also you're receiving an intense healing.
I sense that now.
Yeah, you're receiving an intense healing.
Well, there certainly is a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, buckle up, okay? Betty Davis said, it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I wanna bring back up a conversation and a topic that we had discussed last week. Again, going back to the torsion field and how, as we're doing your torsion field correctly, particularly now that time is warping and everything else. And again, once you do the torsion field, remember the afterglow remain for hours. And this is why you're doing your work or you're doing something else, and all of a sudden you realize, I don't know what happened at the time. It's because it's still there. The bubble is still there, right? I want to talk about how do we now take this field that we have created and help serve humanity, other people. How do we use that as a device, as a way, a system allows us to intercede for others? It is not complicated. In fact, it's so incredibly simple that it is too simple. And a lot of time, the simplicity of it becomes the challenge for us to accept and to actually do. Once a torsion field is created, let's say, for example, in the afternoon, I'm done with my afternoon torsion field around 2 o'clock. I do a second torsion field, I'm done. And then somebody calls me around 4 o'clock and says to me, I'm in crisis, I have this thing situation, so could you help me and do a prayer for me? Or I get a text, somebody asking the same thing. I don't need to redo the torsion field because I've already done it 2 hours earlier. And if I close my eyes and check, I will feel that the alignment is there. That being the case, all I have to do for this person is to locate them, close my eyes, take very deep breath, think about, and typically they will tell you, I'm experiencing XYZ. I'm sick, or I'm emotionally distraught, I am overwhelmed by this, that, or the other, I'm in fear, whatever it is that they're saying to you. And you have that in your mind, in your consciousness when you read it, or when they call you on the phone. And the next thing I do is that, or if they're in front of you, for that matter, because a lot of times people are face to face with me, and they're saying this. And all I do after that is that if they are not present with me, I close my eyes when I'm prepared and ready. I usually drink water before I do this because I tend to, when I do this connection, I tend to be dehydrated, become dehydrated. So I restore my electrolyte, some coconut juice or something to give me electrolyte. I drink some water, and then I go back, I sit down, and then I close my eyes and I sit in my alignment where I can feel my connection to my God, where 12 nested torsion fields are around me, and I feel completely liberated, completely at rest, and completely in neutrality. And as I sit there, I feel the axis, because it's not me. And I'm the biggest crutch, crutch is the following. If you read the text and the thing seems big, like they tell you they have a catastrophic disease, and then in your mind, as a human being, you think, oh, people die from this thing. And you clenched up. Your buttocks clenched up. Your body clenched up because you think, my God, this is complicated. If you do this, you're going to have problems. You should be neutral to what's being presented to you. Because I don't have the power to cure cancer. I don't have the power to restore fertility. I don't have the power to remove lupus, or I don't have the power to do any of these things. But if I pray and ask God for intercession, I'm going to bring them into the field and I'm going to let God do whatever God wants to do with the situation at hand. Because the person is calling you and asking you for help because they are disempowered at this moment, meaning they feel overwhelmed by whatever situation that are presented to them, and they're therefore disconnected to light. Whether it is a situation where they may be homeless or it doesn't matter. It's a disconnection to light. And since you are now connected, you can pass on your alignment and your connection temporarily to someone else that is in need, because you now have their consent to pray for them. So all you need to do is, as you sit down and you think of their name and then you try to find them energetically around you, whether they're up, down, or to the side, wherever you see them, or right in front of you, wherever energetically you sense them, you hold them there, and then you think of your alignment to God, because you're not doing the healing. You're not doing the projection. You are not doing the repair, because you don't have the power to do this. You think about what's their burden. You've already read it. It's in your mind. And all you have to do when you are ready, take deep breath and say to yourself silently, may the peace, the serenity, the neutrality, sometimes I say, and the liberation that I know pass on to you. And when I say pass on to you, I see my entire alignment and what I'm feeling, my connection all the way into source in the 15th dimension. I see the whole thing shifting for me. And wherever they are energetically, it's on top of them at this moment. Pass on to you and bypass it on to them. This is what intercession should look like. It's an act of mercy. I'm letting God take over. And I hold this in place for at least 5 minutes. Sometimes Spirit may ask you to, again, because time is weird when you're in those kind of state, 5 minutes may end up being 10 minutes or 15 minutes, doesn't matter. May the peace, the serenity, the neutrality, the liberation that I know pass on to you, and I see it projected. The whole thing shifts from me and goes on top of them, wherever I found them energetically in the field. And wherever that is, it's there. And I hold it in place for them. And I let my benefactor and my creator pour down blessing and temporarily remove their burden. Shift them into something else. Remind them that the alignment, they are never disconnected with God. Sometimes that's all people need is a reminder. You are not alone. You had never been alone. And that's all it's needed sometimes for them to kick their own healing in place. And before you know it, they walk away and they never have to deal with this again for the rest of their life. So it is very specifically simple. And what I usually interfere with it is our own ego, thinking that I should make it more complex. I should think about all the solutions that they need to receive. You are not doing anything. Forget the solution. You are not doing the healing. You're allowing God and the axionotonal alignment that you have with God to go on top of them energetically and let God connect with them and let God do the healing without you getting involved. I've often said that the healing modality that I teach, the celestial access, the celestial light healing, I am basically a train conductor. I take people who are disempowered into a train station where the light of God is, and I push them into the light and I let go. And I wait for them until spirit is done, God is done healing them, and I take them back. I'm not pushing symbol. I'm not trying to remove whatever is the burden. I'm not trying to lift their karma. I'm not trying to abolish this. And even if they're under attack by so-called demonic or fallen energies, I'm not involved in battle with anybody. I am in neutrality. And neutrality is 0-point energy, which means what? Whatever disempowerment that they're in at the moment, it is a charge energetic relationship. And because it is charged, it's not 0-point. That's why they're struggling. I just project into them, on top of them, the 0-point energy and neutrality that I know. And as I do this, I'm reminding them that the neutrality exists also in them, and they need to remain in neutrality to remove their burden. What will happen with everybody if you're able to do this, because I've said this before, it's a ascension or that kind of healing. It's a thin line that exists between doing and letting go. You're doing that part, and that's all that you're doing. You have to remain aligned and connected to God and project and see them in that alignment for the 5 minutes or for whatever the time frame may end up being. You just have to make sure that they remain in that. And then when you're done, the column goes back into you, you're finished. You may perceive a thing or two. You may have flashes of something. Write it down. If they are not in front of you, text them. Or have a short conversation. So a lot of time, I don't get anything back because I'm not doing anything, I'm not involved. But they, on the other hand, if they're on the phone, and I've had that experience so many times, when they're on the phone with me, and as I say, stay quiet for 5 minutes, and I again do exactly what I'm still telling you to do, and I project it into where energetically I can feel them. And the moment the projection is done, they start sighing because immediately the disempowerment they were feeling, whether it was fear, whether it was, they were, oh my God, I feel so. They're on the phone like sighing in relief. It should feel so easy for you that it's like blinking your eyelid. And in fact, it should feel so good that in the process of doing that healing, you're going to receive a healing yourself. Because that's why God and the Guardian Alliance are training you for, or putting this effort around you, is to actually, so that you can become a Guardian Alliance of Light member in 3D. Because the Guardian Alliance of Light, by the way, when they're projecting the first axis, the second, the third, the torsion field of light, this is exactly what they're doing in the higher dimension. Exactly what I'm asking you to do. We're passing the process forward to someone else in 3D that's having a problem, that's having a moment. And the moment that happened, again, you will hear from them. And I have to share with you, one time I had a family that came in, and there were 5 of them. I thought I was healing the daughter, the father, the mother came in, and 2 of the kids, and then all of a sudden I did the door. I did the healing for the daughter of their life, and the next kid, and the next kid, and before you know it, I did it for all of them. And 5.5 or 6 hours later, they were like, "Oh my God, we came for you today. You must be exhausted." No, just the exact reverse. I am actually jazzed up. I am high as a kite. When they left, I had to get my zinc sight to ground because I was flying. Every healing that I did, I went into light. I went into the throne room of God, the light of God. No, I was not hurting anywhere. And I'm not doing the healing. The only thing I have to do is to hold my alignment and my connection with that axis of God, the celestial axis that's in me. That's the hardest thing that I had to do. Any
Yeah.
questions, any comments?
Yeah, always. Yeah, always.
Sure.
Sorry. I'd like to go back to your statement that disease is a disconnection to the light, if I may.
Mhm.
When you do the torsion field and you have the axis of connection to your higher power, to God, is that not being connected to the light?
Yes,
Therefore, why does the disease not disappear?
because, okay, there might be karmic things that you're not aware of, or shame and undeservedness that's still dormant that you are unaware of. And it will slow down the disease, it will hold things back, but it is your responsibility to dig deeper and untie all the knots. Does that make any sense?
Yes, of course. And I appreciate that. I was just thinking about the difference between being connected to the light in the torsion field or whatever meditation process you're doing to reach that connection, and yet it's not purely um, a disconnection from the light that allows disease to exist. It is the filter through which that light then is blocked to the body, maybe?
No, at the moment, you may feel that you're completely connected to the light and everything is completely pure. But there is a blind spot somewhere.
Oh,
Okay? And this is why you need to go deeper, because if the disease is still there and it's not the full health is not restored, it's because there is a blind spot somewhere that you're not seeing.
mhm.
And you need to sit with it a little bit deeper. And sometime, particularly when the time warp happened, sometime during the time warp inside the torsion field, information will come to you out of nowhere.
Yes, exactly.
It's like there's a flash that just hit you, and you're like, "Oh my God, I completely forgot about this thing." And an insight about you forgot about this. If you need to shift this in order for you to progress and move forward. Keep doing what you're doing. At some point, you will get to because these things are, and particularly when they're old and they're karmic, it's not just one. It's like the roots of a tree. There are multiple tributary things that are enmeshed together. And you have to identify and bring them into light, because if they're subconscious, they are autonomous and they're separated from the alignment you're trying to create. You need to bring them into light first and let the light connect with them. If they're subconscious, they are acting like splinter or separate psyche. And the more information you have, the more insight begins to come in, the more you're seeing tributary other root system that are expanding from that one branch, from that one stem. This one contributing, this one is contributing. There's a trauma there. As that happens, there will come a point where when enough of these things come through, the disease will have no choice but to dissipate, withdraw completely. Because what's holding it in place is the fact that it's the subconscious rooting system.
I understand, and I guess what bottom line it, I would say you can still be connected to light, but still have disease.
Yes, that part is absolutely true. And because the connection to light is in your energetic and emotional body.
Right.
But in your subconscious mind has all of the traumas and complexes being divested.
Say that again. The subconscious mind has complexes.
And the traumas and the complexes, have they been divested? Have they been emptied out?
In the subconscious.
Yes. Because bottom line, the reason the healing doesn't happen is because in your subconscious mind, these autonomous things are buried so deep. It's like a giant iceberg. And there are all these other things that are in there that are doing their own thing. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Sure. That makes great sense. That's what we're working on. We're trying to
Yes.
do that scanning of our bodies, our systems, to locate that dysfunction, that whatever the disconnect is, and that could be karma, you say, shame, undeservingness,
and also I want to say this to you because Spirit is guiding me to say this to you. It could be also a family karma.
Oh.
In other words, if you had the same condition and they are telling you it's genetic, it's family, it's related to all your bloodline, and this is a huge thing. Let's say in my family, it's heart condition. Okay, my mother had a double bypass. My uncle, my I had two uncles that passed away. I have all these problems with. So in my family, that's a huge thing. It's a huge genetic, epigenetic thing. And I have to do the work that's necessary so that I don't end up in the same place that they do. Like my grandfather on my mother's side died at 57 of a heart attack. My uncle died at 57 of a heart attack. My mother had double that bypass at 60. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when it happens, and one after the other like this, you're not consciously doing it, but you're preparing yourself around that age to have the same thing.
Sure.
There is an epigenetic component to these things as well. And you need to get to a place of healing to realize I am not my genetics. I am greater than that because I am indivisible with God.
Thank you. That's a very, very good place to explore.
Yeah. Not a problem.
Thank you.
So as we continue like this, we're going to get to a point where we are able to intercede in the simplest way possible. Again, it's such simplicity and such and I'm going to say this to you. The more you intercede for others, the more you're going to heal yourself, particularly in that manner. That's so simple. Okay? Because when God is seeing that you're being a conduit to share with others the liberation and the freedom that you know, more light is going to pour into you as you're doing this. And it will illuminate the darkest cave that exists in you. And you will, it's not that it's going to happen automatically, but it will so much more, you'll be able to hold more light. And as you're holding more light, the dark parts in you will suddenly be illuminated, and you will see what you need to resolve. God is not going to magically remove it like that, but you will see what you need to resolve. You will see the false spirit. You will say, oh, I can't believe I didn't get this. Again, the idea is that you're not doing the healing. God is doing it. And if you can get your head around this and put yourself in a position, sometimes, okay, let me be honest with you. Sometimes it is so easy to do. I think to myself, I'm lying to them. I'm being perfectly honest. There's a part of me, the human part, I should be, jumping on one foot, standing on one toe. I should be doing something more complicated, doing some sort of twist. It's so simple and so easy. I'm thinking to myself, and particularly when I'm doing it, there's nobody in front of me. I'm doing it by myself, and I write a couple of things down, and I contact them afterwards and all that to kind of like debrief. And when I hear what they are saying, oh my God, thank you, I feel so. I am always in awe. My jaw just dropped because I blinked my eyelid. It was so simple. It was just like blank. Somebody said to me a long time ago, talking about an ascension mechanic that was presented to me that somebody else was doing, all of that and so forth. And it was extremely complex. There was a lot of intellectual information, a lot of information, and this level and that level and this, that, and a chart and this, that, or the other. And I remember this man said to me, this is so complicated to be of God. God loves simplicity. That complicated thing is man-made. And they're right. It's absolutely true. And that feeling sometimes happened to me when I've done this, the whole thing, the whole protocol, so the way I described it to you, and I'm done, and I'm contacting them, and I have trepidation. I'm like, I don't think anything happened. Because to my end, I did nothing. I just took some deep breath. I energetically projected something. It was so easy for me to do. Maybe nothing happened. Invariably, every time I contact the person, or if the person is in the room with me, the way they move and the way they respond, you realize something big happened. Now, a lot of time, it's not an immediate removal of all their problem, as I said to you before, depending on the kind of shame and those undeservedness they're holding, but they will have an amelioration of the situation immediately. Something will have shifted. And I don't know what God is going to shift because I'm not doing the healing. I'm going to let God figure out what's best for them. God knows better. Any other questions or comments? Let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll do the closing meditation. 5 minutes. Take a very deep and slow breath.
Yeah, did you want the music?
Is the music not on? Hold on. Oh, there it is.
Thank you.
Take a very deep and slow breath. As you inhale and exhale deeply and slowly, allow the universal life force that permeates everything to enter into your lungs. Keep breathing deeply and slowly. And let your soul and your awareness drop in the middle of your chest. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Let your mind and your heart sync with each other. And notice what you noticed. And the guardian alliance of light approach you, offering to gift you their shields of light and protection, and a band of neutrality. If you're ready to accept this gift at this time, answer affirmatively. And let the energy of the first guardian begin in the core of the earth, passing through the bottom of your feet, moving through your central axis, exiting outside of your head, and going into the top of the fourth dimensional body, while creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends and it attracts now the energy of the second guardian coming in from the top of the fifth dimensional body, rotating clockwise,
passing through your central axis, going to the bottom of your feet and to the core of the earth, and creating all around you. A torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends, and it attracts now the energy of the third guardian, coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of your feet, passing through your core, exiting outside of your head, and going to the top of the six-dimensional body, and creating all around you a torsion field of light and neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends, and it attracts now the energy of the fourth guardian, coming in from source and the top of the seven-dimensional body, passing through you and your core, exiting at the bottom of your feet, rotating clockwise and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends, and it attracts the energy of the fifth guardian, counter-rotating, passing through the bottom of your feet, moving to your central axis, exiting at the top of your head into the top of the eight-dimensional body, and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends and it attracts now the energy of the sixth guardian, cascading down from source and the top of the ninth dimensional body, passing through the top of your head and your central axis, rotating clockwise, going into the core of the earth and creating all around you the torsion field of light and neutrality. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the seventh guardian coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving to the bottom of your feet, passing through your core, exiting outside of your head and into the top of the 10th dimensional body. Shield of light and protection and band of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends and it attracts now the energy of the eighth guardian coming in from source, passing through the top of your head and the top of the 11th dimensional body, moving through the bottom of your feet and going to the core of the earth and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the ninth guardian, moving in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, passing through your core, exiting outside of your head, and moving into the top of the 12th dimensional body and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends, and it attracts now the energy of the 10th guardian, coming in clockwise, passing through the top of the 13th dimensional chakra system, moving to your central axis, exiting at the bottom of our feet and going to the core of the earth, while creating all around us a torsion field of light and neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of my feet extends, and it attracts now the energy of the 11th guardian coming in from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of my feet, rising higher and higher, exiting outside of our head and going to the top of the 14th dimensional body, and creating all around us a torsion field of light and neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of our head extends, and it attracts now the energy of the 12th and final guardian coming in from souls, rotating clockwise, passing to the top of the 15th dimensional body, moving through the top of our head and into the bottom of our feet, going into the core of the earth, creating all around us a torsion field of light and neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. I am indivisible with God. In my fulfillment of my oath, I stand in spiritual rectitude and verticality. And may the peace, the serenity, the neutrality, and the liberation that I know pass on to everyone in my circle of influence. Hosanna into the highest. Hosanna into the highest. Hosanna into the highest. Take a very deep and slow breath. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. When you started the torsion field, I already had the torsion field still around me. So I took the time to do the karmic examination of the family that I had done before, but I revisited it and we kind of redid it. And then I had the feeling that I needed to project the torsion field to the soil and the family home where
Mm.
the energetic signature of disease still existed and
Wow.
where my roots still were.
Mm.
I was so amazed at that whole concept, and
Mm.
it's still working, I think, going on as God will direct.
Wow. Amazing.
And that's all I think.
Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Oh my word.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Janice. Beautiful.
Oh, if you hadn't told me that, I'd never gone there. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. This is what Spirit guided me to say to you. So, yes, I'm so happy.
Much appreciation, deep and profound reverence.
Oh, blessings,
For
blessings.
the gift
Thank you.
received.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for listening to me tonight. And if you're on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to the channel. On Patreon, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for the support. And I will talk to all of you next week. Love you so much. Love you. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Love you all. Bye bye.